Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and when he's not playing a bad guy on the Blacklist and now the Blacklist Redemption, Edi Gathegi is joining me to talk all about his new spin-off. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. So Eddie telling me that I should have kept my real last name.
Good last name.
Kade just isn't bad, right?
Kade is not bad, and we're living in a day and age where people get away with using their real names that are not pronounceable. Edi Gathegi.
Yeah, but that's a cool. Edi Gathegi
kinda
is like
rhymes.
cool. I
Yeah,
like that.
kinda rhymes.
That actually sounds like a stage name.
Yeah.
Your real name's probably like Eddie Smith, and you're like, let me go with like Gathegi.
Busted. You caught me.
Congratulations, man. Blacklist Redemption is awesome. It's premiered. It's fun. It's totally different from the regular Blacklist, I felt like. Was that the intention, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think going in, they wanted to have a show that was slightly lighter, more fun for the characters and for the audience. So that's what we're going for, and hopefully that's what the audience experience is.
You seem like a nice guy, but you're playing a bad guy in this show. Talk to me about the transformation into the villain.
Well, if we're comparing the two shows, I'm actually less of a villain on this spinoff. If for those who watched The Blacklist, I was all the way bad. Character was a horrible human being with no moral compass, which is fun to play. And on this show, he's the same character, but he's doing bad for good, which is the tagline that they put on the show. So it's a bunch of villains that got together to do the government's dirty work that they can't really be associated with. So it's Suicide Squad for TV.
And they're being led by one of my favorites, Famke Janssen.
Yeah,
Scotty, talk to me about
she's a legend.
Famke is the best. Talk to me about working with her.
Well, she's approachable. I sort of put her on a pedestal because I was a huge X-Men fan, and then I got the opportunity to be in one, and now we have that connection. But she's the sweetest girl. I see her as a star, which she is, but when you meet her, she's just down to earth and ready to work. She takes her work very seriously. I respect her as a human and as an artist, and it's just a pleasure to be able to play with her.
What do you think it is about this Blacklist franchise? And I can officially call it a franchise now that has...
That's crazy, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just reading a review on Redemption, and they were like, this is either going to be an 8-episode spinoff or 18 seasons like SVU. It's amazing. Like, NBC just figures out how to spin these shows off.
You got some smart people there marketing, and tonight, when the show debuts, I think it's really clever to put it together with The Blacklist. So it's a 2-hour event, which you've got no choice. If you love The Blacklist and you're watching it, you're going to stay glued to your TV to watch Redemption because they're connected. And
I love that, by the way. I love how the time frames are lining up between the two shows. So it's like a sequel movie that isn't its own sequel. It's just like, hey, let's make a whole new show that fits into this little square right here.
It's fun. It's exciting. There's a lot of fun, exciting things associated with this. Tom Keane coming back, Famke Janssen. We got Tawny Cypress, who's a wonderful actress, and Adrian Martinez. He's hysterical. I think the audience is really going to like his character. And we're just out there having fun. Tongue in cheek. We've got serious missions, and they're impossible missions, Mission Impossible style. So I think it's going to be a good time.
How are you juggling 2 series regular roles? Because he's also on Crackle's Startup, which another great show with Adam Brody. How are you juggling all this?
I want to say very gracefully. I felt like a young man when I took on both jobs, and in the thick of it, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but I got to tell you, it's worth it. To be able to be employed twice and on 2 really great shows, I'm having a great experience. This is season 2 of Startup, so the people have spoken, and they love these characters, and Martin Freeman is one of the greatest actors on the planet. I'm just a huge fan. I say that all the time. I feel like I repeat myself.
He's just terrific. Terrific actor.
Sherlock is one of my favorites. And then Adam Brody and Omara Marrero, and this is her breakout role. This is one of her first things that she's ever done, and she's terrific in it. The show is really fun, and it's gritty. It's very different than the network show that the Redemption is. So the 2 give me a really well-rounded experience as a performer.
When you have to go in and out of each character, what is that like for you? Because I'm not an actor, but I would imagine when you're playing these characters, you're inhibiting them. What is it like going from one to the other?
People ask me that all the time, and usually it's like, whatever. I just show up to set, and I turn one character on, and I show up to the other set, and I turn the other one on. But when you're going back and forth so much, it does sometimes become a bit of a challenge to remind myself of the different pace of either character. sometimes it'll bleed into the other one, and I'll have to pull back and remember who I'm playing. I mean, this acting thing, it seems easy.
If they only knew.
If they only knew.
It's like interviewing. When people are like, oh, you should have asked this person that question or this question. I'm like, why don't you get in front of the camera and we'll see what you can do. It ain't as easy as people think, guys, for either one of us. With startup, obviously, because you're on Crackle, it's a whole different feel than when you're on a major network show like Redemption. How is it different in terms of, as an actor, being on set, the experience for you between the two different shows?
Well, Redemption, as a spinoff from The Blacklist, is you feel the, for lack of a better term, I don't know what the budgets are on either show, but you feel the money. You feel like, I mean, we're in New York City, we're doing expensive stunts. You know, there's tanks sometimes, you know what I mean? And startup, it's contained. So you just kind of feel like you're in a different, you know, financial ballpark. But the work on both of them is totally fulfilling. So I guess the difference is the amount of freedom that you're able to have on a cable streaming show is a lot greater than the network, because I think they have to fall into a certain parameter to give the product to the most amount of people, whereas the streaming service isn't terribly concerned with that. I think their audience will find the show or won't find the show, but that doesn't necessarily determine the success of it. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, it's a good answer. I was just talking to Megan Boone recently, and it's funny because she was telling me how when she's walking the streets or at the supermarket, people can't separate the real-life Megan Boone from the character she plays. Have you experienced that? Because Blacklist is so popular that when you are playing such a horrendous human being, that when people see you, they're like, oh my God, Solomon, he's the worst. I hate you.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that, because to a lesser degree, I do experience that. But if I experience that to any normal reaction, then people would try to kill me. You know, they would, my character is despicable. I hate you, but I never feel like the person really means it. They can separate the real from the fantasy of the television screen. But I've heard of friends who've had the experience of people not being able to make that separation. I have friends who have gotten into fist fights with their fans because they could not separate the actor from the character. It hasn't happened to me, and I don't want it to happen to me because I play a bad dude.
What is it about Blacklist? Why do people love this show so much?
Well, we can start with James Spader.
He's the man.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, if we're being honest, you know, James Spader. He is just a dynamic performer, and for any actor that's had the opportunity to work with him, you know, you're just in awe at his meticulous approach to his work. He's a skilled craftsman, and he is the Blacklist. But there's a lot of other gears that are turning. The writer's room is phenomenal. The producers are great. Crews are hardworking and efficient. Everybody's, you know, top notch, and all the supporting cast is great. I love Harry Lennox. I've known him for years. He was
one of the nicest guys. I've had him in here multiple times. Nicest dude on the planet.
The nicest guy on the planet. In many ways, he served as a mentor when I first got to LA, and I was actually on Megan Boone's first movie, so we've known each other since back in the day. I remember when she was up for this role, and I remember when she got it, and how she felt her life was going to change, and it did. And I'm very, very happy for her with the baby. And you know, so the Blacklist is successful because of many different elements, not the least of which is James Spader.
When you get a role like this as a young actor, does it change your life? When people are seeing you we're talking about millions upon millions of people, do more opportunities come your way because of that?
I mean, I think we'll find out. You know, the premiere is tonight, and they very smartly aligned us with the Blacklist, so hopefully we retain that audience. But I think we'll find out in the next couple of days, weeks, the life of the season, if we get picked up for second season, and if that translates to other things. But you know, I've sort of had a steady upward climb in this industry for the past 10 years. You know, it hasn't been an astronomical ascent, but it hasn't tapered. So I'm kind of just cool. I'm cool with the climb that I've been on, and I'm ready for whatever opportunities come as a result of doing the work right now. I'm in the moment, bro. I'm on 2 shows. I'm not complaining.
He's like, there's a lot of unemployed people out there. Yeah. I got 2 jobs.
Yeah. There's little to complain about. We can always find things to complain about, you know, because we take our work very seriously. But if I'm looking at this objectively, this is a rare situation. and I love the characters that I'm playing. So, hey, I'm blessed. You know.
What do you think about the Oscars Sunday?
I'm excited, actually. I'm excited. I'm excited for Mahershala Ali.
He's the coolest.
Yeah.
What an incredible role in Moonlight.
Yeah, he's a great performer. We went to the same school, different generations or years or whatever, and he played a character in a play that I would later play. And the faculty at the university would always tell me, you know, you were good, but Mahershala was great.
That's a worst.
He's nominated for an Oscar. He is great. And I'm very, very excited that, you know, we come from the same lineage of training, and he's going to be on that big stage. And, you know, he's been in this industry for quite some time, and the world's finally getting to see his talent. I mean, they've been watching for years, but he's on that stage. It's remarkable. It's incredible.
I'm also happy that diversity was finally included in the nominees to see Viola and Denzel and Naomi, Mahershala.
Yeah.
Finally, a great answer to Oscar So White. It was a perfect answer in a year where there needed to be an answer.
And I like how you said it's an answer to Oscar So White, because I love Bill Maher and I love his show. I'm just a huge fan of his. But he had this rant about liberals being too sensitive to things that are said and not to spend time like blasting, you know, some conservative thinking and whatnot. But Oscar So White, hashtag that campaign, I think is directly responsible for the Oscars not being so white this year. So sometimes it does pay to make a stand and to highlight injustices, because now we have a whole new generation of young people of color who are going to watch people on the screen that look like them, that represent them, and they now have new heroes and can dream bigger.
Make sure to catch this guy every Thursday on NBC, The Blacklist Redemption. It's going to be a major hit. Check it out.